Welcome back, everybody. This is Mr. Longo, and in this video we are going to do more work with special parallelograms, meaning our rectangle, rhombus, and square. But this time we're going to apply some algebra to it, or finding missing angles, stuff like that. So it is extremely important that you know all of the properties of each. So we're going to start with the rectangle. What we know about a rectangle is the fact that all of these angles in the corner are going to be 90 degrees, the full angle. But the other thing we learned is that the diagonals bisect each other and are congruent. So all four of those little pieces of the diagonal are congruent. That's very important because what that just did for this rectangle is create four isosceles triangles, and the left and right are congruent, and the top and bottom are congruent. Now, when you're finding missing angles, one thing I'm going to tell you is don't follow them in order, like find angle 1 first, then have to find angle 2, then have to find angle 3. It doesn't always work that way. So just pick a place to start based on what's given and go. So for instance, we know that this is 50 degrees. Well, if that is 50, and this is an isosceles triangle, the base angles have to be congruent. So angle 1 is also 50. But the other thing we know is that with angle 2, remember these entire angles in the corner are going to be 90 degrees, so angle 2 is going to be 40. Same with this one, same with this one, same with this one. So that's how you're going to find most of these in a rectangle. Also, because it didn't ask for them, but those two would be 50 as well. Now, how do you find angle 3 and angle 4? Well, the other thing that you have to remember is the fact that triangles will always add up to 180 degrees. So to find angle 3, if these two base angles are 40, 40 plus 40 is 80, and triangles add up to 180, angle 3 is 100. And a linear pair is going to tell you that angle 4 is 80. So that's how I typically do find the missing angles or puzzle problems, whatever you want to call them, and then you write it down. So angle 1 we know is 50 degrees, angle 2 is 40, angle 3 is 100, angle 4 is 80, and angle 5 is 40. Okay? Next up, the rhombus. What we need to remember about a rhombus is the diagonals are perpendicular. So all four of those are going to be 90 degrees. So now we know what the measure of angle 2 is. The other thing we have to remember about a rhombus is the fact that the diagonals bisect the angles that are opposite from one another. That means this is 30, this is 30, this is 30, and so is angle 3. So angle 3 and angle 4 are all going to be 30 degrees because the diagonals are bisected. So the last one is, how do you find the measure of angle 1? Same as what we did in the last question when it came to triangles. Triangles add up to 180. So here's 30, here's 90, we have 120, we're missing 60 degrees. Okay? The square, it almost seems like I didn't give you enough information, but trust me, I gave you plenty. Remember, the square is the perfect parallelogram. All the angles are 90, and the diagonals bisect the angles, and the diagonals are perpendicular, so angle 1 is going to be 90 degrees, and angle 2 is going to be 45 degrees because the diagonals bisected a 90-degree angle. So you get 45 and 45. Okay? Now let's take it up to algebra. Again, in this video, I'm not going to go over step by step how to solve every equation. If you know how to set up the equation, that is the most important part. So in a rectangle, we are given, in this example, AE, which is 2x minus 5. If it helps you, you can write it down. And BD, this full diagonal from here to here, is the entire length of a diagonal. So AE is half, BD is a full. With rectangles, if you know your properties, the diagonals are congruent. So all you need to do is multiply AE by 2, or you can just say you have another one. Add the two mini diagonals and set it equal to the big one. So if we multiplied AE by 2, we would have 4x minus 10, and that would be equal to 3x plus 10, and we would end up with x is equal to 20. Okay? So again, most important part is to know your properties, then set up an appropriate equation based on them. Number 5 says that we have a rhombus. Now, the special property of a rhombus you need to know for this problem is the fact that all 4 sides are congruent. So you can approach this 2 different ways. You can multiply x plus 4 by 4, because what you're really doing is just saying that every single side is x plus 4. So you can multiply them all by x plus 4 times 4 and set it equal to the perimeter of 36. And you'll get 4x plus 16 is equal to 36. The other thing you could do, which is totally up to you, if the perimeter is 36, you know each side is equal to 9. Because 36 divided by 9 is just going to give you, or divided by 4 is just going to give you 9. So you could also do x plus 4 equals 9. It doesn't matter. However you want to do it is fine. You're going to get x is equal to 5 regardless. Last example, we have a square. You have to remember that a square has 4 congruent sides, but it also has all 90-degree angles. So for this one, you just have to set 2x plus 10 equal to 90. And of course, subtract your 10 and divide by 2, and you would end up with x is equal to 40 for this one. Okay? So that's it for applying some algebra and finding missing parts with special parallelograms. Alrighty? That's it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is Longo, and I'm out. See you, bye.